Uncensored. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is my friend, Amanda Schwartz, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, for people who want to know what Uncensored is, Uncensored's my way to show people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life, but at the same time turning myself into a perfect example for people out there deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair, or whatever the case may be. You shouldn't label yourself or have people label you. And the whole point of life is to do what you love and prove to others you can still mount to something and you enjoy life. And that's the whole purpose I created my talk show. Now, with that being said, I said it's a half-hour talk show. I'm going to ask you a lot of easy questions, a couple of hard questions, and you can ask me anything you want in return. It's a normal conversation, and just, well, we'll have fun at it. So starting off, what can you tell me about yourself?
Well, I'm 28. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I came from New Jersey. I moved to Queens when I was 22, and then to New York City, and then now I'm in Brooklyn. So I studied in New Jersey. I have a psychology degree, a theater degree, and then I went to school for acting for 4 years for a conservatory school, and then I went to a comedy, like an improv sketch comedy show school, and now I'm here just auditioning and getting some gigs here and there, and I also became a personal trainer, so I got certified for that, so I train on the side.
Oh, that's great. Well, you did mention a lot of good things, but I'm going to get to in a little bit, if you don't mind. But, starting off, let's see, what would I want to ask you? I'm looking for some good questions, so if I don't mean to hesitate, I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
What can you tell me about your high school years? Did you enjoy high school? Did you hate high school?
High school was good. It was fun. I was a cheerleader and I did track, so that kept me involved, and I did like gymnastics, and we traveled with our cheerleading team, so that was good. But it was a Catholic school, so it was pretty big, boy and girl. It was co-ed, so that was fun. But yeah, overall, I think it was a good experience. It's different when everyone's younger, you know. I feel like I grew up a lot since then, but so I know myself better. But I'd say overall it was fun. I mean, high school is weird for everyone, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Did you like high school?
Yes and no. There were some parts I really liked. I was a part of the audio visual department.
Awesome.
So that's how I got into creating my own show. But the people at the same time, you know, it's being picked on had a learning disability, and it was mostly the teachers too. So it's kind of hit and miss. But you know, I did miss it sometimes.
That's what I mean, yeah, the people, because they're so young and immature. Like, people can be so mean, and I never really fit in with all of that. So yeah, I can empathize with you.
Yeah, it's funny. I had this one teacher. For people out there, I failed health. Don't ask me how I did it, but I failed health in my freshman year, so I had to retake it in my second year. And I thought the teacher was a dick in the second year, but he was really a nice guy, and he used to pick on me. I was like, why is he picking on me? Oh, it must be due to the fact that I'm the only one in class with a learning disability. But then, like, every day, it's like, he used to call me, like, mental bomb. What are you doing smoking a doobie in my class? Or, I saw you yesterday coming to school on a motorcycle. Yeah, I hope you're not handing out drugs during my class.
That is so weird. I can't believe he would do that.
Yeah, but he was a nice guy. I did have two questions. I did have a lot of teachers that made a difference in my life, and And the question now is directed at you. Did you have a teacher that gave you a hard time or made a difference in your life?
Yeah. Like I said, people are immature, and some of the people that hurt me the most or would tease me the most happen to be my best friends. So that's why I was saying I didn't really feel like I fit in. I almost felt like I was just watching a movie of what was going on, and I didn't know how to defend myself because it made me feel insecure because I didn't know who I was that well. But yeah, people, like my friends would like play stupid jokes on me, and like she knows it now because we're mature and we talk about it, and she apologized. But there was one time when I was younger, people started getting like boyfriend and girlfriend. So somebody asked me out, like be my boyfriend or whatever, and she was like, you should really say yes because no one else is gonna wanna like be your boyfriend or whatever, so you should do it. She's like making fun of me like nobody would like me, and I was so mad at myself because I was like, okay, I'll do it, and I just went along with the crowd. But in the end, it was just a learning experience. Like you said, it makes you stronger and it makes you strive for what you want. So that's why I think what you're doing is awesome. But yeah, I did have some people, but like I said, they're probably going through some stuff too, and that's why they're taking it out on me.
Well, that's true. You know, I did have this one teacher who was a complete nut job. He, what I mean by that, he used to, I think he had like ADD or something, because he never stood still.
Yeah.
And by the way, I did take special ed classes, so that had something to do with it.
Uh-huh.
And he never used to stand still. He used to run up and down the classroom. He used to jump and do like this. And I said something to him jokingly. I said, "What's your deal?" And I said, after that point, he just like gave me a hard time. He was like a real hard ass. He just was a real dick about it. To a point where when I worked in retail, I worked over at the North Face for the longest time. He came in the store because he heard from one of the other teachers where I worked. He came in, he asked for me. He said, "Okay, I'm here as a customer. Yeah, there's the jacket I want, and I want you to find me this jacket and prove to me you can still do something outside of school." And then he stopped and he said, "No, I want nothing to deal with you. So let me work with her because she looks more confident than you do."
Oh my goodness.
So I was pissed. I went into the back. My manager asked me, he's like, "Are you supposed to be on the sales floor?" And I said, "If I was on the sales floor right now, I'd punch the guy in his face."
Yeah.
And my manager was a real nice guy. You ever see the movie Empire Records?
Yeah.
You know the manager, Joe?
Uh-huh.
My manager looked like him, so I used to joke about it. It's like, "Hey, I saw you in Empire Records. You're really good." So he was a real nice guy. He brought me in the back room, showed him on camera where the guy was. "Okay, oh, I can take care of this guy for you."
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
So he came out and the guy saw him, he ran away.
Good. Wow, yeah, people can be mean. How'd you feel? You were just mad? You were pissed?
Well, I was pissed because I was embarrassed, you know, that he guy called me out, but...
Of course, yeah. Ugh, people.
What about you? Do you ever work in retail, or you have any retail stories?
I worked at a store called Hollister. What else? I only did that for a short period of time. I really just didn't like folding clothes. But I was a lifeguard for a long time. And a server, like a waitress. And yeah, I think that was it.
I bet you got this one a lot. When you were a lifeguard, did a lot of people ask you if you know CPR?
Of course, and we do. Yeah, lifeguarding was fun. I did that through college, and then I served tables after college because you don't make money at first as an actress, so you need to pay the bills.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up. I was going to ask you the next question, but let's go back to the acting after, you did hint towards it. Do you think it's easier for women to get acting roles? And I don't mean this to sound sexist. If it does, I apologize. But do you think it's easier for women to get acting roles over guys? Because people I did interview do agree that, if a woman's beautiful, okay, you have a part by far. I interviewed an African American guy, then I interviewed an Asian guy on my past 2 interviews, and they both said it's really hard for people in our area, it doesn't matter if they're handicapped or not, but it's just really hard to branch out.
I see your point with the people you mentioned, because I think that poses difficulty because sometimes there's just not that many jobs out there for people. But you could look at it at every aspect. So for me right now, I think it's tough because there's so many, I think there's probably more females trying to be an actress than there are males. But besides that, I'm a blonde and they kind of only take me for like stupid roles where I have to play like a diss, which is fine. I'll take like what I can get right now and work with it. But also, like, I went to improv school and I'm pretty funny. I know how to write. I know comedic timing. But it's also hard for a female to be taken seriously unless I'm like, well, it's hard for females sometimes to be taken seriously as comedians. So it's so much easier for a dude, no matter what he looks like, to be a comedian. So I think we all have things going against us, and sometimes it's almost about luck in the end. You just have to be in the right place at the right time, or know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and then you get a role. So yes, maybe because I am a female, I get some parts, but I don't get a lot of other parts. But I could definitely understand how a guy would feel that way. So, give and take.
No, I agree with you, and it's funny you should mention being in the right place at the right time, because there was this actress, I don't know if you saw Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? The good one, not the shitty one.
No, I remember the show, but I don't think I saw the movie.
Oh, the movies were terrible. But actually, it's funny you should mention the movie. They're rebooting it, so maybe you would be lucky enough to get in it. That'd be nice.
That would be great.
But in the TV show, there's this Asian woman, Trini, and I get to her in a couple minutes why I use her logo. She was basically hanging out with her friends in California, and basically the acting role fell into her lap because the producer was walking around and saw her, and they were looking for an Asian girl to play Trini, and it's like, you would be perfect. So what you were saying about being in the right place at the right time, regardless if you're just in a restaurant, if you're waiting for a bus stop, opportunities like that don't just fall out of the sky. It would be nice, but
That's crazy. I know. So it's almost like you gotta stay fresh. You gotta just do everything you can. Don't get jaded by the industry, and believe that hopefully something's going to happen. So I'm trying to do that. But yeah, that's a crazy story.
No, I did mention the logo for thing. If you went to my website, if people go on my website, the KeithAndrewNetWork.com, there's a picture of a saber-toothed tiger. And for the longest time, I've been a big fan of hers. I was debating about making a fan-made book of hers, and out of respect, she passed away, so I just want to do something because I'm very respectful.
Yeah.
And I was using her logo, the saber-toothed tiger, out of respect. So a lot of people in my family are like, oh, why are you using a Power Ranger logo? No one's got to take you seriously. And it's like, you're missing the point. I'm using it out of respect. Oh, you're just doing that to be I'm sorry, what?
No, I'm sorry. Keep going.
And they were saying, I'm just being a brown noser, or I'm being an ass kisser. It's like, you're missing the point why I'm using our logo. Also, I like cats, so I like the logo.
No, I think that's a great idea. People are always someone's always gonna have something to say about what you do, but as long as you're doing it for, I think, a stand-up reason, I mean, just whatever you want to do, I think that's great.
Okay, I appreciate it. And the next question I asked, how did you get in? I don't know if I asked this already, but how did you get into acting, and how many years have you been acting for?
How did I get into it? Well, I remember since I could remember when I was a kid, I would always make plays and make my mom videotape them, and we were always doing some sort of show. We like gave out invitations at any holiday thing, and people would have to come watch our shows. Started doing school plays and stuff, and I would always remember doing like a speech of when I would win something when I was like 6 years old, and who I would thank, and who said I would never do it, like blame stuff like that. So I always knew I wanted to. And then after I graduated high school, I really just wanted to go to acting school, but my father said he wanted me to have a degree outside of the entertainment industry, which makes sense. So I figured I love people, I love the mind, I'd get a psychology degree, and then a minor in theater. And then he said I could go to study acting wherever I wanted to. So after college, I remember I graduated, and like the day after I started acting school for William Esper Studio. It's a place in the city, and I went there for 2 years, and then I went to an improv school, a Bright Citizens Brigade, and I figured I wouldn't start auditioning and stuff until I really knew what I was talking about, and like I had confidence in my craft. So I didn't start auditioning. I went to acting school in 2008. I finished. I'm always studying, so I still go back to school here and there, but I started auditioning maybe 2011 or 2012, and yeah, I've been doing that ever since.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think you have what it takes to be a wonderful actress. I'm one of your supporters.
Thank you.
Not being like a brown nose or anything, I'm just, I'm very supportive. You know, it's funny, we're talking about being supportive for one another. When I started my talk show a year ago, my mistake was I did phone, don't ask me why, it was a stupid idea on my part. I just did phone conversations. So basically I would have my iPhone on speaker and record it from a camera, upload it to the computer, and it would be a blank screen with people talking. And I didn't really think about it much. And when I was looking for sponsors, because I came up to 71, 72, and I came up, I interviewed people from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to Dragon Ball Z, Spider-Man, and you're like, okay, that's great. What is your audience? I have an audience? I know people watch my work, and I know some videos get more hits than others. I really don't know. And they say, well, we can't work with someone like that who doesn't know their own audience, and yada yada. So they told me to do it over. And my mistake was, well, how we're doing it right now, I should have been doing this from the start. But, you know, that was my mistake, and I do regret that. But, oh well, it was only a year, so.
Also, you have to make mistakes in order to grow and learn how to do it right. I mean, who cares? At least you did it, and now you know. Like, I remember my first audition ever. It was for a huge company, and I thought I was going to nail it and get an agent right off the bat, and it was my birthday. And so I walk in, and I blew it. I completely blew it. Like, I didn't even know how to read off the script, basically, because I was so nervous. And because it was my first audition, so I didn't know what I was doing at all. He was like, you should come back when you go to acting class. I was like, excuse me? I know, please don't say that to me. But my problem was, like, I didn't know the industry and, like, how to network and how to audition. Like, that's a totally different thing. So it's like I fell flat on my face as well. But you're never going to know otherwise. After that, I went on every audition I could think of that I wouldn't even do or get, I don't think. But just so I could get accustomed to it, So now it's just like second nature to me. But yeah, in the beginning, I didn't know, just like you didn't know, but at least we tried, and now here you are.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point, but I would like to talk to you after the show about it, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But going back to your, I mentioned high school, for people who know me by now, I jump around, it's hard to stay on the subject, but going back to when we started, I mentioned high school. Were you like a party? No, you did answer high school. The next question I was going to ask you is college. Were you like a study nerd? Were you a party animal?
I maintained my grades. Let's say that. Like, I did everything I needed to do, and I loved psychology, like I said, but I was also trying to have some fun, so I went out a lot, yeah. And I had I had responsible fun, I guess, but I went out and I drank, and it was I think a tame fun. But yeah, I wasn't too into the books. I didn't study that often. What I did study for was acting school. It's hard to get me to do something unless I'm passionate about it. So I wasn't head over heels wanting to be a guidance counselor. So I didn't jump right into that. But for acting, I was in love with it. So that was different. I studied more for that.
All right. You did mention your cheerleader. How many years? How did you get started in that, and why did you stop?
I was a cheerleader since you could be, the Pee-wee cheerleaders. How old? What are you, 7 maybe? And then I did it all through high school. We were really good, actually. We traveled all around competitively, and I didn't do it in college because my college just wasn't big on it, and we had it as a sport. We had to go to gymnastics. We trained for it every day. So at my school it just wasn't that competitive, so I just didn't bother with it.
Did you ever want to go pro, or?
Yeah, and the Nets, they have a dance team and stuff. I was gonna maybe get involved with that because my friends were, but I always knew I just kind of wanted to focus on acting school, so. And I also did track, so I ran a lot and worked out a lot. I don't know. I still miss it, and I still like to do some gymnastic stuff here and there and be thrown in the air, but I don't know why I gave it up.
What about, a lot of people do this for fun, but did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or you're not a human pyramid girl?
Oh, where they put you up?
Oh, yeah.
Lift you up? Yeah, I was a flyer, so I was always being up there or tossed around.
What about the one of the normal ones?
What do you mean?
You actually have to kneel on the person.
Oh. Yeah, I've done that. We've done that with my cheerleaders for pictures and stuff.
Do you enjoy it, or were you one of those things you're oh, okay, I have to do it at the time, but don't really enjoy it?
No, I love all that stuff.
No, it's funny you should mention that. I was a big fan of that. I always wanted to do one since I was 4. I would say it. I'm a loser.
Stop it. No, that's cool. Who cares?
What about you? What do you remember of it? Were you the bottom, middle, top?
I think I was probably middle.
Alright, so we're trying to find a word for it. I don't want people to think I'm an asshole or anything. Was it one of those 6 people, 10 people? Did you ever try to make a record out of it?
Not really. We honestly just did it for pictures and to be fun. It was probably 6.
Alright, so it was one of those small ones.
Yeah.
Alright. Our next question, by the way, speaking of questions, if you have any subjects you feel passionate about, you can bring it up if you want, or if you have any subjects you like to ask me, it's a normal conversation, so I don't want people to think it's one-sided.
Gotcha.
Okay. Alright, so the next question I was going to ask you, moving on to the next subject, is I started to ask this for certain people, mostly that's for the women I interviewed. And where do you stand on women's rights in the world? There's a big thing going on Facebook a while ago, so it kind of stuck with me. So I just decided to use it for myself. So, as a woman, how do you feel about women's rights in the world? And do you think you guys came a long way, and people still living in the past?
Yeah, I think we've come a long way, but there's still a long way to go. And, it's just a fact, males get paid more. There's more male CEOs in the world than there are females. So we do still have a long way to go, like I said, but I don't know. I mean, we all have battles. And some people don't mind being out of the workforce and being a stay-at-home mom because that's a job in its own, but also, I don't know, it's tough because day-to-day life I don't normally think about, I guess, as much as I should, but I'm proud to be a female, and I think we do have a lot more, a long ways to go, but to be honest, we do have a lot of good things too, so I can't really be too mad, and it's not like anyone's fault, it's just the way it is, and things are going to take a while to change, but for the most part, I think we're all doing okay. It's a tough subject for me to talk about, sorry.
Alright, so if we can just move on from that. You mentioned you are a personal trainer. How did you get certified, and how many years have you been doing that?
I've been doing it for maybe like 5 years now, and I got certified for NASM. That's like one of the best certifications, I would think. So I studied on my own and did a few classes here and there for it, but I think I studied for like 6 months, and then there's an overall test you have to take. And yeah, I got certified and got insurance. Then I went out looking at gyms that I could work at, and finally started at like a boxing gym. And they taught me how to kickbox and box, like, and everything I know basically in how to be a personal trainer. They didn't even give me a client till like 6 months after they were just teaching me the biz, like how to do everything. So from then on, I worked there and just independently all over the city in Brooklyn. So yeah, like 5 years, I'd say.
That's pretty cool. So if someone who is very interested in having you as a personal trainer, do you offer your services, or how does that work?
Well, I have a website. It's called BelieveAchieveStrength.com, and I also have, business cards and word of mouth, or I did like a living social and Groupon thing for my boot camps that I have. I have outdoor boot camps in the summer, and I guess if you ask me, I'll give you my card, and then either we do single sessions, or you could buy a package to make it cheaper. I work with my clients. Every client is different, so some people buy just every time they train with me. Some people do a package of like 3 times a week, but I kind of word of mouth as well. Like a friend knows somebody, and I train them. They're like, "Oh, this would be great. You would be a great trainer for so and so," and then you just build up your clients that way. So,
you don't discriminate. Like for me, for example, you went into I have a learning disability. You don't discriminate, right?
No, that would just be terrible. No, I train all different kinds of people. I don't specialize in like injuries and anything like that, but most of my clients, like, people have back problems or shoulder problems or knee problems, or some are older, some are younger, bigger, smaller, it's everybody. I train everybody.
Now, do you only train in person, or like, for example, like what we're doing, do you also support the live cast?
Yes, this is the next best thing. And if somebody needs to be trained, like, I'm going to help them. It's not like I can't tell you foresee what you're doing if we set it up, you know, so I could guide you through things. It is good, though, to be in person with someone at least the first time or here and there, you know, to see them in person, because I focus on form a lot, and because I don't want injury. I like to prevent injury. So I need to teach everyone the proper way to do stuff, and, like, they need to feel it. And sometimes right away they're not going to understand how it works, so I have to practice with them. They know what the right form is, and then we could do it on our own, or I'll do that, like, eventually, like, once a month maybe with them. But yeah, this works awesome. Like, it's so much easier to reach clients. I think everyone should do it this way. If people are far and they want to train with me, now they can, you know?
You know, it's funny because a while ago I was talking to a couple of acting coaches, and they're like, "Oh, can you come in tomorrow?" "Okay." "Where are you from?" "Oh, Connecticut." "Well, I'm from upstate New York." "Oh, that's 4-hour difference." "I have an idea. Could we video Skype?" "Oh, no video Skype. We don't do that. No. And it's like, well, they were getting all defensive about it, saying we have to see you in person, you have to sign the forms. It's like, isn't that why they have email and fax machines?
Right? That's funny, because I just got hired for a pilot because of Skype auditions. So we had the callback, we had the first audition on Skype, the second on Skype, the callback, everything was on Skype, and I got it. And it made my life so much easier because I was away on vacation with my family and I was still able to audition. And I honestly think they're going to start doing that more and more, but I hope they do as well, because then it would be amazing. I could just stay at the gym, train clients, and also audition at the same time. So I'm hoping it becomes a huge, huge thing.
You know, it's funny to tell you a funny story. A long time ago, I finally got myself a webcam. Before I got myself a webcam, everyone, my family, everyone out there was saying it's the newest thing. You have to have a webcam. You know, Yahoo, MSN, whatever it is. Everyone is now FaceTime and Skype, for example. And it's funny, I got used to Skype. I get to that in a couple minutes. But with the webcam, they were saying, "Oh, you have to get it." And when I finally got it, no, we don't do that anymore. That was only fad, and it's like, really? I just pissed away $40 on this, and now it's just a fad?
There's always going to be something new and better, but yeah, hopefully this sticks around because it's so easy. But yeah, I know, it's almost like the iPhone. They have like 80 million iPhones coming out every day. I'm like, I'm just going to stick with this one and pray it works for a while, because it's just too much. I can't keep up.
It's funny we should be mentioning iPhones now. They can't even give away the iPhone 5s. No one wants them.
I'm on an iPhone 5. I don't really like it, though, I'm not going to lie. It's annoying. Mine doesn't work well. So I can see that.
You want to make a trade?
Yeah.
Well, if you're interested.
Oh, do you have a 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
What don't you like about the iPhone 5?
I think it might just be mine in general. Like, it stops working, it just freezes half the time, and then, like, when I'm typing, like, it stays on a letter, and then sometimes it just shuts off whenever it wants to. So, and it always deletes my most important emails. Like, an agent will send me something, and I have no recollection. Or my flights. They sent me my flights the other day, and it just deleted, like, my itinerary, like, out of nowhere. So then people have to keep sending me stuff, and they think I'm just, like, carelessly deleting it. But, like, it just, I don't know what happens. I hate it. It's not good.
You mentioned you're from Brooklyn. How do you like living in the city?
I love it. I had to move a lot recently, unfortunately, but hopefully I'll be here for a bit. I signed a lease for a year. Yeah, and Williamsburg is fun, so I'm exploring. I have some roommates that are pretty cool, getting to know them. And, you know, I love Brooklyn. I love the city. it's just, you can walk outside and you have everything. You have access to everything. And you never feel alone because someone's always out doing something. So, it's fun.
You should do the Eddie Murphy. You walk out on the, I don't know if you have a terrace, walk out on your terrace. Good morning, my neighbors. Fuck you. Yes, yes, fuck you too.
I should do that. We have a rooftop, but I've never seen a neighbor, so, I mean, I just moved here, so we'll see. It's funny.
You know, I've always wanted to move to the city. I'm a suburbs kid, so I guess, I don't mean hesitate, I apologize. And when I mentioned to hesitate, over the years, I hesitated, and, that's part of my learning disability. And I created my talk show, and it would bring up the next subject, how I created my own talk show. Basically, I worked in retail, I got sick, long story short, I had people, wink, manipulating me, saying, yes, we're friends, and they would, stab me in the back, and that basically built up over the years, and I developed severe panic attacks and social anxiety, and,
wow.
And I really don't want to work in retail anymore. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bitch to you. I know you have your own things.
No. Everything's relative. Not at all. You're not. Don't do yourself like that.
And I was thinking when I was recovering, after I went to West Point was offering a class where you can go be trained as a custodian. And I took the class, and it was good. And I was like, I really don't want to work in retail anymore. And I was looking at my family, and they're doing their own thing. It's like, well, for the longest time, I was using my learning disability as a crutch. Well, I want to prove to people I can still amount to something. And I created my own talk show. First, it was for my own reasons. If you want, I can tell you the long story about it.
Yeah, definitely.
When I turned 21, people said it was the most special birthday you're going to have in your life because you only live once. Make the best of it. And it's like, well, I don't drink or smoke. I have my family and I have my health. If I have to die, I would like to have a couple famous friends. And I asked a couple wrestlers, WWE, TNA superstars, and actresses, for their friendships, and I guess I was going about it the wrong way, so I was being told to go fuck myself, I was being told I was a lowlife, a parasite, and when I was recovering from my stupidity in retail, I created my own talk show, and I noticed one thing I had was my social anxiety, how I had problems interacting with people. Like when I worked in retail, I had an excuse to walk up to someone, like, hey, do you need any help?
Yeah.
And when I started my interviews, I was still hesitant, but now I have a reason to talk to people, because this is my own thing.
Yeah.
And so, and my parents agree that it's kind of like therapy for myself. How we're talking right now, it's a one-on-one therapy, and it builds up your self-esteem, and it helps you how to interact. Like we're building a friendship right now, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so it's like good therapy, and I gotten better with walking over to people and talking. So like I said, it doesn't matter for people who have learning disabilities or whatever the excuse is. If you work on something, and if you're very passionate about something, it does work out at the end for you. But what I mentioned about my birthday was I have a couple famous friends. I did create my own talk show because I didn't want to have a couple famous friends. But now I was thinking about it, that's going to backfire in my face because it sounds like a dick move. And then I came up with the idea of adding something to it. So when I say it's a whole point to show people that even with a learning disability I can still amount to something, then I was like, sounds great, but it sounds like an asshole move. Maybe if I can tweak it a little bit. Now it's for people out there deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair. if you can prove to yourself to people, you can still mount something, and I was like, there you go, it works. And I got in about, well, if you looked at my list on LinkedIn, it jumps around a little bit, because I interviewed people from season 1, from the voice interviews, too, and they were nice enough to redo it with me. And
That's awesome.
And there's other people who said, we only did the interview with you as a one-time thing, and so basically that was the long story about my talk show, if you're interested.
No, yeah, I think that's amazing, and it is like therapy, and people should be passionate and still be able to do whatever they want regardless. It's just a really good message that you're sending, and it's good for you, it's good for everyone around, so it's kind of like a win-win. But hats off to you for having the courage and being ballsy enough to follow your dream, because so many people stay inside their box and are scared to really live. So, nice work.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Go into our last subject, if you don't mind, if you have the time.
I do have to go to an audition soon, but yeah.
Well, the last one's got to be short, I promise. Do you have any funny stories you would like to share, or over the years?
Funny stories. I have a book of them, because I've done stand-up before. I don't know where the book is now. There's probably way too many stupid stories. But I'll probably have a web series with reenacting some of them, or doing some of them, playing pranks on people. I'm a jokester, so I like to scare people or make people feel really awkward. That's fun for me. It's really weird. Funny stories. One time, my ex-boyfriend and I like putting on masks and dressing up for Halloween, because my birthday is the day before Halloween. So I had these masks, and we ordered food. So I decided to wear my mask when the delivery person came, and he was so scared. He wouldn't even give me the food or look at me. And we tried to record it and put really funny music in the background, but the iPhone fell over because the music or something was too loud. But yeah, stupid things like that I like to do, jokes, or pranks on people.
You gotta like this. I did it by accident, but then it became a running gag for me. I remember when my brother basically fell when he was recovering in the city. We were coming back. We went to an Italian restaurant. I don't know where it was. I just know it was in Brooklyn. And everything was fine. And then I was looking at the menu. It's chocolate. It says chocolate mousse. And I said, I never heard of a chocolate mouse cake before. So when the guys came over and said, can I take your order? I said, yeah, can I get the chocolate mouse? And they looked at me and said, excuse me? Yeah, it says mouse. M-O, I don't know why there's two O's in there, U-S-E. Weird way of spelling mouse. Sir, that's moose. Mouse, moose, whatever, it's the same thing. And my parents were like, you're so unbelievable.
Oh my god. I like it.
The other time was we went to the lobster pier. There was a soup. Actually, there's two times. There's two soups. One at the Italian restaurant. That's the second time. But the first time it was called at the lobster pier. It was called lobster bisque and shrimp bisque. And both times I said, oh, can I get the baked ziti, and for the soup, can I get the lobster bitch?
I like it. I'm going to use that one, actually. Thank you. That's funny.
I'm glad to help. And the last funny story I have, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We were coming out at an Italian restaurant, and we took two cars. I was going back with my sister and my brother. And it was like, well, okay, it's cold out. Where's the car? My sister said, it's right in front of you. Okay. Why does your car have this thing, antenna on the roof? That's weird. It wasn't there before. It's, oh, this is my car. Let's get in. I open the door. Handle's kind of weird. Nah, it's just me. It's cold out. I went into the back seat. Closed the door. Seats are kind of cramped. Maybe it's just me. It's been a long day. And my sister and my brother were about 5 feet away from me. And they're on the outside staring at the car. Saying, oh shit, what happened to the car? Did someone key the car? Did something happen? And I was looking around. And I noticed on the mirror, there was a bumblebee sticker. And I was like, weird, where did that come from? And I looked down, and I noticed it was from an automatic, it was a stick. And it's like, oh shit, I'm in someone else's car.
Yeah,
and
that's weird.
At the same time,
if I came there and saw you in my car, I'd be like, what?
At the same time, I looked up, my brother and my sister were like, you're in the wrong car.
Get out! That's funny. Imagine, like, you walked in and there were people there sitting next to you, and you're just like, hey.
Yeah, my sister said, this is not a person of interest. Get out of the car.
Nice.
Alright, well, wrapping up, do you have anything you want to say to your fans and listeners, or?
I did notice, I want you to know, I'm wearing clothes. It looks like I'm not wearing clothes. I just want to make that statement.
Well, it is uncensored.
It's true. It's not that kind of show, I promise. Or for me, right now. No, I want to say thank you. This was fun, and yeah, I think you're doing a great job, and I'm impressed.
Thank you, I appreciate it.